Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's webinar, How to Hold More Chips. You know, we're all going to miss greens occasionally, so we need to get it up and down, and we need to make three decisions. Can we putt it? If we can't putt, we want to chip. If we're too far away for chipping, then we have to use pitching. So, as always, these webinars are brought to you by Medicus and Pure Strike Golf, 5 simple keys to consistency. And we're here at Tiffany Green's Golf Club in Kansas City, Missouri, which is my home teaching base. And we're down in our training center. We also have, obviously, our outdoor range, but this is where we keep the technology. So look, first let's define what a chip shot is. In our definition, a chip shot is a shot that the left arm and club shaft, if you're a right-handed golfer, go back in one line. There is no cocking of the wrist. That would be pitching. So this shot is basically, you can think of it as a putt with a lofted club. And we have some numbers we use for chipping, and these are all based on a level surface. You have to add or subtract if you're chipping uphill or downhill. So what I have right now is I have a line on the ground that indicates the edge of the green. So my ball is past the edge of the green and the flag's this way. So I need to know a couple of things before I make my club decision. I need to know how far is it from my ball to one full pace on the green. So first thing I would do is I would pace off from my ball to one full pace on the green. Now this is not quite full. I think it's a little farther. Well, for today, we're just going to say it's 2 paces. All right. So I've got 1 pace to the edge, 1 pace on. So that's the first number I need, and that number is 2 because I took 2 steps. Now we pace off from that 1 full pace on the green to the hole. So let's say I was back here now, and I'm going to pay, and I've already done the math, and hypothetically now I'm on 1 pace on the green. So I'm going to pace to the flag, or I'll just go to this curtain right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have the second number. So I take the first number, divide it into the second number. So 2 goes into 4 2 times, right? So that means I'm going to have 1 part carry and 2 parts rolled. So here's the deal. When you're making this chip stroke, the thought is to land it that 1 full pace on the green, regardless of how long the chip is. So I got my numbers. 2 into 4 goes twice. So here's how it works. You take your highest lofted club. In my case, that's a lob wedge. A lob wedge is a 1-to-1 ratio. Sand wedge would be 1-to-2. Gap wedge, 1-to-3, pitching wedge, 1-to-4, 9-iron, 1-to-5, etc., etc., etc. So the first number is I'm landing at 1 pace on, and then that number was 2, like I said, so that would be a sand wedge for me. Yours might be different. You need to test that. So now I know what the number is, I know what the club is, I know where I need to land the ball. Now I need to make a stroke that, regardless of the length of chip I make, lands that 1 full pace approximately on the green. So if I was to set up, and I hope y'all can see this ball, I'm going to place the ball off my back big toe, open my stance slightly, and then I'm just going to stand to the grip. So the grip's in the middle of my body. From here, I want to make a stroke that goes from the butt of the club, from the middle of my body to my right thigh, and now my upper body moves the club through and past the thigh. So it would look like this. Okay? So again, I'm lofting it onto that 1 full pace on the green. Now, if you are consistent with your length of stroke and your amount of power, then the ball will land in the same place. If you change the length of the stroke or you change the amount of power, then the math formula I gave you is not going to work. Okay? So you have to think about it this way. There are people that chip with one club, and some of them are really good at it. But your average player, this is what we would call a standard basic chip shot. There are some variations. We're not going to get into those today, but there are some variations. So think of it this way. If you had 150 yards and you're in the fairway, you have a club that hits it 150 yards. But if you had 140 or 160, would you take the same club and swing harder and easier, or would you change clubs? Well, obviously you would change clubs. So to change the length that I want this ball to go, I'm going to use that math formula to help me. As long as I make the same exact movement, same amount through the ball, this ball is going to land in the same spot and roll out perfectly. Now, let's say that you hit it and the ball comes out too high when it lands here. If it comes out too high, that typically means you're moving the club head past your hands in this fashion. So that's adding loft. It's going to, you can still carry it to this spot, but it's not going to roll out. So again, ball off the big toe, handle slightly forward, weight forward. Everything stays quiet, and you don't cock your wrist. You move simply a shoulder and arm stroke back, turn the shoulders, and let the pivot bring you through. So from this side, it'll look similar to this. See how the club's staying out? It's not coming in. All right, that's a different shot altogether. This is a basic chip shot. All right, variations we'll get to a lot later. So if you can standardize the length of your motion, your setup, and the amount of power you're putting into it to land at that one spot, then it'll roll out every time. All you have to do is change clubs for the different lengths. Now, let's say that I had the ball farther back. I'm going to put it clear back here now. So from this view, if I make the exact same length of motion, amount of power, that ball does not carry that one complete pace on the green. And why would we want to carry it one complete pace on the green? Because if we can carry that one pace, we've actually skipped all the rough in between and all the fringe. So when it hits, it's going to roll out like a putt. But if I'm back here, that's actually out of chipping range. So as a rule of thumb, from the edge of the green, okay, one full pace in here. If your ball is anywhere within that one full pace, you are chipping. If it's past that, you're going to be pitching. So that simply means back here, I'm going to add a little wrist cocking. I'm still going to try to throw it a little bit farther onto the green. I could throw it that one pace, but it depends, again, on the pin placement, what kind of trajectory I want, etc. And we'll, like I said, we'll get into that some other time. But if you get more than that one pace back, the only way you're going to carry it over there is to make a longer swing and to add more power, and that defeats the whole purpose of doing that. You're trying to keep all your swings at the same power and not trying to add for normal shots. So again, ball off the big toe, weight left, favoring the left side, 65, 70%. The butt of the club in the middle of your body, pointing at your navel. You want to keep your hands up a little bit. You don't want to get your hands down. From there, it's arms back, chest through. Do that, and I think you'll see a lot of improvement in your chipping. Until next time, we'll see you.